So years ago, I, for some reason, answered a calling to help this woman who I met at an event in upstate New York that was just in a really trying situation, navigate that situation. And in her definition, that was her darkest moment. And I'll give a little bit of context because it's really heavy and it's going to help you understand where this can serve you. So this woman, she was a chiropractor and still is a chiropractor, and she was married to a chiropractor as well. And together they had one child who at the time was 4 years old. And she learned that her husband, also her business partner, sexually molested their child. And in the state they lived in, which maybe is all states, as a 4-year-old, you can't testify for yourself. So this child was just in this broken legal system and really put in harm's way. And as a result, like, he's still the dad. He sexually molested her. She came out and showed parts of her body and things that she did. And the mother didn't know where to go and how to navigate this. And it was just riddled with fear and overwhelm. And she still practiced with him, and she had no choice but to, because that was her only source of income. But it was almost like Catch Me If You Can, like constantly hiding and trying to find ways to navigate this broken system. And when I met her, for lack of a better term, she was just broken. And I don't even know what motivated me. I'm 23 years old at the time, never coached anyone in my life, had no kids, no experience literally whatsoever with a child that's been sexually molested by their parent. And I said to this woman, I'm going to coach you to safety. And I'm not going to do it for a fee. It's just free. Like, let's talk for an hour a week. I just feel called to help. And over the next 24 months, that's what I did. And I just helped her, being completely unqualified, to navigate her to safety. And she's safe and prospering. And it's joyful to see how far a human can come. But the reason she was able to make that leap is because what she defined as her darkest moment has actually become her moment. And the same holds true for you or anyone else that you know. Maybe for you, you have gone through a divorce and it's like your darkest moment, or maybe you had bankruptcy, or maybe there was the death, or maybe you were fired and that was your darkest moment. You decided to attach the words darkest moment to an experience. But what if, just what if, and maybe I'm crazy, that's okay, I've been called crazy just a few times. What if your darkest moment is actually the moment? Like, what if that was the case? Like, what if what transpired in your broken marriage was the moment for you to really get clear on who you are as a human, your aspirations for life, and enabled you to find true and meaningful love? What if what was so dark, so uncomfortable, so depressing was actually the catalyst for you to find yourself, to find this inner strength? And what if that's the case for all of us? What if you going out of business, which was the darkest moment because you were the sole provider for your family, and as a result of you going out of business, you weren't able to provide for your family, and your family is now on food stamps and living in one of those state-sponsored living environments, and it's just so dark, it's so abysmal, it's so everything the opposite of what you wanted. But what if that was the moment that it gave you to really delve deep with your children, build a bond that would last forever, help them learn key principles and learnings through your pain and suffering? And what if as a family you were able to rise from the ashes and start something that was just ultimately sustainable for you and your children for generations to come? And there's so many stories of people that turn their darkest moment into their greatest light. And if one person can do that, that means it's possible. I'm sure you know the story of what happened in 1954. Because prior to 1954, there was a universal belief, which was a man or a woman did not have the physical capacity to run a 4-minute mile. Impossible. You couldn't do it. And thousands upon thousands of people tried, and 0 of them were able to successfully run a 4-minute mile. Then in 1954, this man, Roger Bannister, came. And Roger Bannister just never knew that the 4-minute mile was inconceivable. He didn't have that belief system. So instead what he did was he ran the 4-minute mile. And as a result, it gave other people the permission as well to then run 4-minute miles. And since then, every year, thousands and thousands of people run the 4-minute mile. Even high school students now do it because one man in 1954 proved it was possible. Well, I could tell you countless stories, including my own, where my dark moment was actually my light. And if that's true for me and true for countless others, I can assure you it's true for you as well. Things like COVID were a dark moment for the entire country, yet the light for a handful of people that chose to make it their light, which means you too can make it your light. Thousands upon thousands of people get divorced every single day. And for 99% of them, they're going to say, this is my darkest moment. But for the 1%, they're going to call it their light. And guess what? The 99% that call it their darkest moment can so choose to call it their light as well. Thousands go bankrupt, and almost all of them will say it's their darkest moment, but a small percentage will declare it's their light. It's their moment. And the purpose of this video is to give you the power to redefine that moment, from the darkest moment to your moment, from the darkest moment to light, from the darkest moment to the exact event that you needed for you to get clear on who you are and ultimately what you will do in this life. I'm never here to motivate or inspire you. I'm here just to remind you that you have complete and utter control of your life. You have complete and utter control of the words that you attach to the events in your life. You have complete and utter control of what you do next in your life. And I'm here to let you know that whatever you call your darkest moment, I promise I would never guide you to anywhere where you're unsafe. It's the moment for you to experience your light, experience your greatness, experience love, abundance, success, and ultimate vitality as well. It's not dark, it's light. It's your moment. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.